Buenos dias. It's still the morning here, about 11:30 local time, and it's time for the Corona Cero Update Show here at the Surf City El Salvador Pro. Saw a lot of great action today. We finished the opening round for the men. Remember, we completed 4 heats yesterday, so finished the round and got through the first heat for the women before the tide dropped out. We're going on hold till 2:45 this afternoon. Thanks for being with us, Joe Turpel, Rosie Hodge, and Jesse Mendez. A lot of fireworks throughout the day, but before we go through the men's draw, let's just recap that last heat. We saw a really controlled, balanced surfing from Molly Picklum. Bella Kenworthy had her flow state underway, and Nadia Aristarbe gave us a 6-point ride, even though she stayed in third, Rosie.
Yeah, Nadia with the high mark of that heat on her backhand, looking sharp. Bella so impressed with the way that she managed that heat, but obviously Molly Picklum has been in the red jersey for a reason. She's the top seed in that heat.
We have a lot of heats like this, Jesse, where you see 3 great championship tour surfers all into the 9s. It's almost hard to separate their surfing when the conditions got a little trickier.
Yeah, and you just nailed right there. It's just because of the conditions, it gets streaky, so it gets very even. Obviously, Nadia had in that 6-point ride, but couldn't find a backup. But beautiful surfing from all the surfers having to deal with that chop and the low tide, the wave just running down. You saw in the previous wave from Bella and this run from Molly Picklum.
World number 2, Molly Picklum, looking comfortable. Remember, she's won Sunset twice. That's off the calendar these days. So she's still looking for her first win this season.
Yeah, Molly at number 2 on the rankings, but like you said, still looking for that elusive win. Made a final in Abu Dhabi, but definitely hungry for the W.
Love watching her rail work. She's got that spontaneous type of act where she can go for an air or that progressive slide if it comes her way, hoping that she gets more of a bowling section in the round of 16 as we check out the numbers. Jesse, Nadia should be proud. I mean, she had the highest score of the heat so far. She's still trying to get the reps on the championship tour.
Yeah, those ones stink sometimes, you know, mostly her. She's trying to prove herself that, you know, she's here to make a point and she deserves to be on tour. So, like, she just needs to bounce back now and be a little more consistent on the wave selection, most likely.
We'll see Nadia in the elimination round. Another big heat, always big when you've got a local hero, Brian Perez, representing Punta Roca. And then a bit of a rematch with Italo. Remember, Brian eliminated Italo last year with a gigantic frontside airs. Add Ian Gouveia into the mix. Excuse me, Gouveia's in the next team with Toledo, but it was George Pitar looking super silky smooth. Solid performance from George as well.
Really solid from George. I think he led this heat for most of the way through it until Italo really started to turn things on, but looking just like a sharp dagger in the pocket there.
He looked so smooth with that release from the carve to the snap, and then Italo started with a fall on the full rotation. Actually didn't have much in the first half of the heat, Jesse, and then started going ballistic.
I mean, it's crazy to think about it, how he had to muscle through that entire heat. That wave right there was about 50 yards deeper than whatever all the other surfers were surfing at the moment. As you can see it, he was launching through that air, and the surfers were right behind him, waiting with priority. So he just manufactured an 8-point ride.
That's so true. And even just chatting to Italo afterwards, as we see El Cleland there celebrating for him, he identified wasn't the best wave, but he knew that his surfing would take him to excellence. And then also utilizing that rock boil for that easy landing on the rotation.
Then he just kept nailing them, kept going for different versions of his favorite maneuver on tour, the big backside full rotation helicopter move that he's been doing for a very long time. The way he lands so perfectly really makes it stand out. In the flats, in transition, he can go into more radical maneuvers. So world number 1 looking solid and getting some payback on Perez. We had Perez looking sharp. He had a couple of nice moves, had a couple of falls when he was trying to enjoy that little air show. He'll be in the elimination round, and the whole country will get behind him. George Pitar looking great. Couple of big 7s as he will be reseeded into the round of 32. It's easy to get lost in that heat, especially with all the narratives flying. You've got a local hero, you've got world number one. So really impressed with George, just kind of playing his own game and sticking to his strengths.
And it came down to that last exchange. George did get a wave at the end there and really put some solid surfing up. And then obviously Italo, that nail in the coffin. But yeah, just really enjoying all of the surfing from all the competitors. We've seen such different conditions over the last 2 days.
As we know, Jesse, I mean, Italo hasn't won this event yet. But the kind of form that he's in right now this season, is he really unstoppable? Is there anybody that can slow him down?
I mean, there is obviously Filipe. A guy that also comes up to mind is Ewing or Griffin Colapinto. Those are names that are probably gonna, put a task for him in front. But it seems like he's on a different gear than everyone. People are gonna catch up to him, and that's just a matter of time. That happens. Someone just starts launching in front, and then everyone else kind of catches up. But yeah, so far he's just muscling through when everything's against him, and when things are flowing, it makes it even easier.
Well, let's go with your first pick, who you chose that could potentially stop Italo. Filipe Toledo. He's only been in here at this event 2 times out of 3. Last year he took his break. He's only finished in the final, a runner-up and a victory. He also had the goofy foot, Ewing and Colapinto, with him in this matchup. He was hi-fi surfing, exploding with big power carves, giving us a lot in this heat.
He's got such great stats coming into this event, a win and a second place, and his excellent surfing is just on display here. I think he got an 8 flat for this ride.
Big full rotations, looking very comfortable. Number 9 in the world and looking to really put himself straight into the world title race. Hal Cleland Jr. unfortunately ended up staying in 3rd in this one, Jesse.
Yeah, it was just a matter of actually heat strategy. He started off pretty well with the 5.67, if I'm not mistaken, but then he pulled the trigger a little bit early. He had priority, went on a smaller wave, and kind of gave the rhythm to Ewing and Colapinto to ride 2 kind of decent waves, like more set likes, and ended up, having to deal now with the second round.
This is that gear that Filipe can get into. He looked pretty fierce on the glass with you, Rosie. So focused. Really looked like he was doing his job, just playing the game well, but unbelievable hi-fi surfing in this one. It looked like he had every weapon he wanted to choose from.
Yeah, he was on fire and very analytical of his surfing and the scores that were coming through. So tuned in, and I think, wow, just so powerful, so fast. I think it's hard to really break down the nuances of the technical difficulty of what he's doing because he's going so fast. And when you're watching it with the naked eye, you're just seeing like a hummingbird just flying down the line. And when you slow-mo, you realize how difficult what he is doing is.
And he really was going against himself with that heat. Like, he was literally surfing against himself after that first and second wave. He had the 8 and a 7.4 or something. But Ewing, no shy, beautiful bottom turns, aggressive up the top, just amazing surfing. Has a few little things that he needs to clean up, like on that wave itself. You're going to see him going to lose a little bit of the rhythm and try to go 2 for 1 and should have just finished it off strong. And that would have probably brought his score up to the 7-point range. So if he cleans up, he's going to be looking deadly for the next round.
Filipe there just showing us he wasn't happy with those last couple of scores, even though it was definitely a one-sided win. No chance for anyone else in that heat. 8 and a 7.77. A past champion, a 2-time world champion, back on tour looking for a 3rd world title this season. It's a great part of the year for Filipe. Moving on from pipe, maybe the big misstep for him was in the pool, where I'm thinking he's got to be in the final at least. Quarters in Portugal, he's sitting at number 9. When you're a 2-time world champ, it's easy to go, wait, where is he? But when you look at El Salvador, with his track record here, and basically every event for the next 7 stops on tour, he's either won it once or multiple times. The last thing the tour needs is for him to catch fire here, but it's it's almost like undeniable. It's going to happen, as we saw that performance today.
Yeah, definitely, and great to see him back in the kind of form that he's in. But like you said, this tour really caters to his surfing, the lineup that we have next. Bells, Snapper being back, J-Bay being back. I mean, Felipe's chosen a great year to return to competition.
Yeah, pretty exciting time in the world title race. And now here on the Cero Update Show, it's time for the top 5 moments of the day. Jordy Smith, when he was a Grum, used to throw down Supermans all the time in heats. Thank you, Jordy, for bringing it back.
that's the second of the year because he also threw it down in Abu Dhabi as well. So let's just show how light-shouldered he is and how much he's enjoying being there, but still putting in the work. It translates with confidence in this type of surfing. It's so fun to watch.
He was quoted recently saying he wants to be the first to go 20 years straight on the championship tour. He's still looking like a Grom. Number 4, how great did Leo look on this 833?
So good. The high mark of the men's competition, the 833 from Leo. He's just looking so in the zone at the moment, so focused. He's traveling with a great crew, and he seems really happy.
Just had a fiery flow. 833 came on his very first wave of this heat, established dominance by controlling the start of the heat without priority, and never looked back. Found a nice sneaky little backup score, really quick, really confident. After kicking off the year world number 2, he still got that same fire. And Griffin Colapinto, congrats, your best combined heat total of the year.
Well deserved. Waited for almost 20 minutes or about 20 minutes for that first wave, and seemed like everything could go wrong because you're sitting for so long, added pressure, but he just went to town and looked as confident as possible and backed it off with this beautiful wave here.
A guy who typically has a win or a final at this stage of the year already. Even mentioned to you, Rosie, sitting at 20th in the world. He's aware of that, and I'm sure this is going to fire him up. But Ro, number 2 on the list, Italo taking flight.
Wow, I mean, this guy is unbelievable. And Italo, another guy that's looking really happy, really comfortable, very self-aware. And I think a lot of that, working with Reynos Hayes, having that yin and yang of the high energy and then the groundedness of Reynos in his corner, I really like the recipe of that relationship.
Yeah, and it's translated on heated strategy and then also on his surfing as well.
And winning the update show, Filipe Toledo on fire, Jesse.
I mean, it was about time, right? Like, and with the conditions that it has to offer here, and that's what I like to mention. The best in the world are hard to beat anywhere, but on point breaks where things are predictable and they can wait for a good wave, it's almost impossible. And Filipe just showing he was going against himself in that heat. Like, he was almost untouchable. The type of surfing he was doing was second to none.
Oh, he's just so brilliant, as he can do a lot of different things. I think it's like high performance, it's speed, but then variety as well. Going 100 miles an hour, he doesn't repeat himself. He's spontaneous in the air. He really can do anything he wants, as he's reminding everybody he's only been in finals here before. He's number 9 in the world, and he's running after a spot in the final 5. Once again, everybody, we are going on hold till 2:45 this afternoon. Keep checking worldsurfleague.com for all the event updates. On deck, opening round heat number 2 with Caroline, Lakey, and Alyssa Spencer. We'll see you later on this afternoon. This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.